Welcome to the Author's Porch, where every good conversation happens. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride from author to author. We want to give you an experience where you learn and enjoy the conversation. Authors tell you about their journey, you learn about new books, and at the end of the day, you go home with a smile on your face because the Author's Porch is a beacon of light, bringing you home to the family you never knew you had. We hope that you enjoy the show. Excuse me, like a belch came right when we were coming on. That is so awkward. But you know, life happens. Okay. Welcome everybody. Hello everybody. Now I'm flustered. Welcome to the Author's Porch, where every great conversation happens, and it happens because we trusted Brendan and Bomsey at Master Talk to show us the power of effective communication. We also make sure we have a great cup of coffee from Third Day Coffee Seguin, a Christ-centered, veteran-owned coffee company. Today on the show, we have Sarah Humphreys. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. Hello there.
I am so excited to talk to you because I told you before we came on, I was looking at the cover of your book, then I went and stalked your website and I read your bio, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally fangirling because we have a lot of things in common. And even though I'm 44 years old, I'm still a 15-year-old girl at heart, and I know you're older than 15, so I'm not trying to make...
Oh, don't worry. I'm also 15.
Sweet. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
So guys, let me introduce Sarah just a little bit before we go in and start having this fabulous conversation, because I almost forgot to take us live. We wanted to just talk about everything before we even went live. So Sarah lives in Utah and is a die-hard fantasy nerd that can't stop talking about dragons and anime. Totally with you. The anime is my daughter, but I know just a little tiny bit to get me by and make me look kind of smart.
Great.
She is trying to get through high school by creating her own worlds and characters, and has written 6 novel-length books. I read that and I was like, seriously, girl? Like, I haven't even wrote one novel-length book. Like, I have 22 books, but they're all novellas or short stories.
Well, that's still impressive.
Yeah, but like, I can't get a novel. Like, I try to, and my characters go, no, I'm done. I'm tired.
Well, I can't write short stories. I can't. I've tried. I can't do it. So.
Oh my goodness. Sarah does make friends, but only with people who can stand her habit of constantly talking during movies to critique the plot with her memorization of How to Train Your Dragon Wikipedia page. They have one?
Yes, they do. Well, okay, technically it's not real Wikipedia, but it's the fandom wiki. So they have fandom wikis for anything under the sun, and you can read all sorts of very useless information about whatever fandom you're a part of.
Like, How to Train Your Dragon is like the epic. They need to continue and keep making more and more and more and grow.
I mean, like, the story ended, and I'm okay with that ending. So just let a story just stop. Don't drag out the characters until nothing. This isn't Disney.
I don't think this isn't Disney. I totally get that. But I think that my mind is Disney in a way. Like, fine. I think, like, I get it. There are stories that totally need to end. And I get that. But I'm one of the people that holds on forever.
Okay. Well, good news. They are actually making a show that's like 1,000 years in the future. Dragons are back. So yes, they're making a show like that. No idea what it's called. You could probably Google search it. So good news for you, I guess.
So those are all great stories, but let's talk about yours, because when I saw the cover of your book, I was like, that is beautiful. Did you create that? Because I saw that you do some art. Is that correct?
No. Okay, I am not that good of an artist. I color, yes, okay. I draw comics, but I don't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am not a professional cover artist. My friends are. They have designed covers for me, but the cover that I have right now was just by the publisher. And I told them what they wanted, and they did it, and it turned out really pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's intriguing. Like, it pulls you in. And I like the way that she's positioned on the book. Do you have a copy there with you by any chance? I never have
No,
copies of my
sorry, I
books with me.
don't.
Okay, well, people can go and look at the beginning of the show, at the promo stuff, and they can go see the cover, and we'll show it later. But the cover, it pulls you in. The way she's not looking at you, she's backwards, so it's like you want to follow her into the story. So tell us a little bit about the storyline.
Okay, well, I think the cover did it. Represented the story really well because my character is not. She's very antisocial. She wants to stay in the shadows. She doesn't like people looking at her, or talking to her, and so her facing away from the camera is really fun. I like that idea. But basically, it's about a kingdom, a medieval kingdom where everyone wears these enchanted necklaces that take away emotion, these gemstones, and that there are some people that the gemstones don't work on, and those people are hunted down and executed because they want a perfect society with no emotion. And well, the main character is a princess, and she is one of those people. She puts on a necklace and she still feels everything. So she has to hide that. She has to pretend to not feel emotion. And she's basically just retreating into herself and not drawing attention to herself as much as possible. And the cover has that vibe to it, and I like it.
Yeah.
And the thing that she's holding behind her back is the necklace with all the stones on it. And it's basically her journey trying to deal with not feeling, but trying to remain emotionally healthy at the same time. And there's a love triangle, there's romance in it, and there's a war going on and a marriage alliance, and there's just all this stuff that I throw at the main character, and she has to survive, basically.
Wow. And how did this storyline come to you? Is it something that you dreamt of? Did the characters just appear to you, basically? Or how? Because my characters just pop in my head and start talking to me, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm trying to do something here. I'm doing dishes, or I'm doing, laundry or something.
Yes. Well, not with this one specifically. I just this one was a weird one because I like reading dystopian books, and I like stuff like The Giver, Delirium, Divergent, Hunger Games, City of Ever, just stuff like that. And so I always really, really, really like societies where people don't feel emotions, where there's something human in them that is now taken away. Like The Giver. I absolutely love The Giver. That is one of the authors that I have drawn a lot of inspiration from with this book. So I thought, hey, what if I take a society like that and put it in a medieval kingdom? Because medieval kingdoms are more like fantasy-like, there's magic, and I pretty much exclusively write medieval kingdoms. So I just took, I basically melded two genres into this book, and it was really fun.
It's super cool, and I love when authors can be creative enough to put those two worlds together, because you would never think about it, but yet, excuse me, I have a little phlegm on my throat that's wanting to creep up out of there all of a sudden. But when you think of a medieval kingdom, you think of a lot of them, their emotions are a little skewed already because they're
Yeah, it's
right. They're little, like, a lot of them, when you look at the pictures, they're not smiling. It's kind of like they have no emotions. So when you put this in there where they're not allowed to, it's like, what if, right? Like, but you've written other books too. How many books do you have total published?
only one published. This is my first one published. I've written a lot before then, but this is my first, my debut novel, as it's called.
Wow. Now, why? Now, what stopped you from publishing those other books?
Well, nothing really stopped me from publishing those other books. I just didn't have the chance to, because how I got published is I had a neighbor who told me about this writing program called the Calliope Inner Circle, where a whole lot of people would come together and learn how to write books and learn how to pitch to authors the proper way, and write a book in 6 months and get all this formal training and pay for it. And at the end, we got to pitch to agents, and it was really, really, really helpful because because pitching to agents is like very daunting. You have to learn from the ground up. You have no idea what you're doing, and so it was really nice for someone to sit me down and tell me how to do it and tell me how to write a pitch. And we got to talk to agents over Zoom, and it was really nice. And one of them accepted my book, and that was really cool. So I guess my advice to people is to get someone to teach you how to do it, because that gives you a major leg up in the rest of the running who doesn't know how to pitch to agents. And that's how I did it. And so it'd be really cool if I could publish some of my other books and the sequel to this one. So,
you know, what you're doing right now is like what 90% of the rest of us have ever dreamed of doing, right? We haven't even pitched to agents. Like, you know, the rest of us are still like, oh, I don't know about all that.
It's like, I need to finish something first.
Yeah, that's super cool. Now, what made you want to write? Have you always been a writer, or is it something that just came to you one day?
Yeah, I've always been a writer. I don't know why I wanted to be a writer, but I started reading really early, like when I was 3, and I don't know why, but I guess my 3 to 4 to 5-year-old brain was like, hey, I like these stories. Maybe I can write my own stories about a woman who lost her cat and looked everywhere for it, and then eventually found the cat. The end. So I just started writing these very simple short stories, and then all the way up to full-blown novels.
Wow. And what do your parents think? How are they dealing with all of the stardom that you're having and stuff?
Well, I only recently got any semblance of fame, if you can call this fame, but they've always been really happy for me and trying to encourage me to write, which is refreshing because I have friends who are artists and their parents are like, you want to pick a more realistic career?
Right.
But my parents haven't done that. They've been really nice, and my dad has helped me with marketing, because marketing is hard. So it's been really nice to have them just be really supportive of me.
Yeah, that support is everything. And I think it's fantastic because you're right. A lot of people think that a career in the arts isn't going to be lucrative or productive for the rest of your life, you know? So they go, okay, well, get a real job, right? Get a real job. Okay, well, this is a real job and it's a paying job, and it can lead you down places that creates so much mental health happiness, because it's a wonderful career. And like, I wish at 17 years old that I was able to write the way you do, because man, I could have had such a happier life. You know? I didn't publish my first book until I was 40.
Well, you still published something? That's really cool.
Well, yeah. I forget about that. No, I'm just joking. So you said there's going to be a sequel, and when did you publish this one? In February, is that right?
Yeah, January, February. I think it was January 25th.
Oh, wow. So this is a pretty recent. Now, have you already written the sequel? Because you seem like one of those people that are just will probably type.
Well, yeah, I'm typing. I can never write a book by hand. Never, ever.
It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. There's a reason why I can type 115 words a minute, and it's because I type every single day. But well, actually, I write a lot, and that's my downfall, kind of, because I should have been writing the sequel all this time. Like I am like in the start of. No, at the end of 2020, they were like, "Okay, we can publish this now," and so I should have been writing the sequel all throughout that time, but I didn't, because 1, I was watching anime, and 2, I was I have a whole lot of other ideas, always, all the time, dragons and magic, kingdoms everywhere, and so I want to write those things and not, the thing that I'm supposed to be working on.
So you have the same condition that I have, which is called squirrel brain.
Yes, just want to move on to everything and explore everything else, and yeah.
Yeah, I've got at least 20 to 30 folders of different ideas where I'm like, oh my God, there's this storyline, and okay, I'll save that for later. And it's just maybe a couple sentences or an idea where four words are in there, but I have to get it out. Do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm only like 7 chapters into the sequel, and I should have been done with it by now. But I have 5 other prologues and first couple of chapters of new different ideas that I don't know when I'll be working on.
Yeah. Now, do you find that if you don't allow those other ideas to get out of your way, if you try to just stick to just writing that one thing, do you feel like you get stuck?
Yeah, a little bit. Like when I have writer's block, I just move on to another idea. Like that's nice. It's a failsafe.
Yeah.
But I never finish anything. It appears I can only finish something if I have a New York Times bestselling author be like, your deadline is in 6 months.
Oh my God.
So that was the writing program. So apparently I can't. I've been trying.
So
I've been trying to finish it.
You have to have your feet to the fire in order to.
Yeah.
I'm more of, as long as I'm allowed to create, I can finish. But if I get told I have to only do one thing, I get bored with it, and then my creativity goes out, and you could see the flatness in my writing. I have to allow the squirrels to run wild. I have a friend who has his own publishing company, Three Ravens Publishing, and he calls himself the Squirrel Wrangler. Yeah, which I totally get. So I just want to let you know we've got a few people here watching. We've got Elizabeth Johnson, who is the marketing director over at Playtime Multimedia and Publishing. She says good morning. She's here watching with us. She's a fantastic.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, she's great because we talk about writing. Me and her talk every single day about writing and publishing. And then we have Theodore Lacrosse, who is an avid reader and show watcher here. He's always here with us every interview. So, Sarah, what would be the best thing that you utilize to keep you motivated when writing?
Well, I watch a lot of TV, and like a lot, an insane amount. So I kind of have been implementing a system where I think to myself, hey, if you write one chapter, you can watch X number of episodes from this TV show. So it's kind of like setting reward systems for yourself and trying to keep yourself motivated. And also, I listen to music while I write, and with lyrics, for some reason, I can think of words to write, and then sometimes my parents come in and I'm just singing because I like the songs that I'm listening to. So, but when I listen to music, I feel like I can concentrate a little bit better. Like my mind isn't just going to wander and go wherever.
Super smart. That's a great idea, the reward system. I think I'll give myself a piece of chocolate. I'll limit my chocolate because that's a big thing for me. Chocolate and coffee.
Oh my gosh, I love chocolate, cake, donuts, anything sugary. Anything sugary and unhealthy, I love.
Right? Now
it's not fair.
We talked earlier before we came on the show about how you watch anime.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what's your favorite anime?
Well, I've watched like 60 anime, but it's bad. I told you it's bad, and that's only in the past 2 years. So
my daughter's obsessed. You could get on her Snapchat, and she's always showing pictures of the anime that she's watching. And I'm like, she's in college. She's a sophomore. I'm like, are you doing your work? She's a theater major.
Okay, well that kind of makes sense. Like that you'd be interested in characters, especially very emphatic, dramatic characters. So yeah.
I'm like, yeah, so the arts is kind of like a big deal. But what's your favorite anime so I can ask her if she watches it?
Okay. Well, my favorite anime is a very niche anime. That's called Bungo Stray Dogs. It's just it's this collection of tropes that I really like. It's basically like there's a detective agency that fights against a mafia agency, and all of them have powers, and all of the characters are just really well written and very attractive, and like all the villains are fun and quirky and dramatic, and so I just like it because I like having the characters interact. But if I must pick a show that is my favorite and not as niche, then I would probably say Full Metal Alchemist. That's more well known.
I'm writing those down because I'm going to ask her about those.
I love Full Metal Alchemist so much.
She used to come in and be like, "Mom, watch this movie with me." It was either an anime movie or an anime series, and we were always watching it, like I told you, with the captions, because she said it didn't sound right with the voiceovers for her.
Oh, come on. I mean, some dubs are really good.
Well, I like the voiceovers personally, but
yeah,
she wanted to, and I'm like, I can't read that fast. Like, I can read fast, but not that fast. So, but she absolutely loves all that stuff. But one of the things that I was always intrigued with was the storylines. The storylines of anime are just so gripping.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
Do you ever find inspiration from them for your own books? Not that you're copying, obviously we don't copy, but I find inspiration in so many places. Do you ever find inspiration in anime to write your own story?
Absolutely. Yes. Oh my gosh. So I had Stone Cold, and that was it. That was the only idea I had, and I'm like, shoot, I'm out of ideas. But then I started watching anime, and I got like 10 more ideas just like that, because anime it's different from Western media. So it has its whole new batch of tropes and more stuff that you can use, and there's so many different plot lines and types of characters in anime that you're just never going to see in anything that you'll find on Netflix or like a New York Times bestsellers fantasy shelf. Like anime, it has a different view of what can make a story. Like there are so many oh my gosh. Like let's see if I can think of a weird one. Okay, there's this anime called Assassination Classroom where this yellow octopus alien destroys half of the moon and then comes down to Earth, and then the government is like, "Oh my gosh, what can we do to make you not destroy the Earth? Like I'm sorry, what can we do?" And the alien says, "You know what? I want to teach middle school. Can you let me teach middle school? And I will teach my students, these students that I get, how to kill me. And if they successfully kill me by the end of the term, or by the end of the year, whatever it was, I will not blow up the Earth." It's called Assassination Classroom, and that is actually a plotline in an anime, and it's so good. Yeah. Anime can be anything. It redefines what a story can be.
Absolutely, and I love that. And I'm going to make that a quote of yours right here in the comments, because anime, let me type it up the right way. Anime redefines what a story can be. Sarah Humphreys. You've been quoted. You're famous.
Great.
Like you're uber famous now because you've been quoted. But you're absolutely right. One of the most fascinating things I found about anime is it's not something you're going to read in a book, because every time you read a book, you can say, "Oh, well, this little line here I've seen somewhere else, or this little I've watched somewhere else," in all the books that we read. But when you watch anime, you don't see it anywhere else. You haven't read it in a book. You haven't seen it in a show. It is uniquely anime. And that's why I wanted to ask you that specific question, because I think it is a genre that writers and authors are missing out on discovering a whole new world within their stories. So thank you for saying that, because I think that your mind is this beautiful discovery on its own that is going to bring forth some beautiful stories. And one of them is the book that you've published, and the many more that you're going to publish. So if you had one piece of advice to give to fellow authors out there, what would that piece of advice be?
Well, watch anime, I guess. Well, not like that, but try to try to expose yourself to a lot of different stories. Don't just read one book. Read a whole lot and watch foreign stuff and watch what other people have. And if you get more tropes and character archetypes, and it will just make your writing a lot better and a lot less cliche and a lot more interesting. And for the longest time, I've taken notes from all my books that I've read, and I've taken notes from all the TV that I've watched. It's pretty funny because my dad comes into my room and is like, "You've been watching TV for the past 5 hours. Why can't you write a book?" And I'm like, "But I've been taking notes. That's productive, right?"
I love that interaction.
Totally use that.
Right.
But yeah, so you don't really know the rules of writing until you can just see what works, see what doesn't, you have to learn from the ground up what makes a good book and how to do that. If you don't have any formal training or go to a writing camp or something like that, then you can just go to your favorite book and then take notes on what works, what makes you feel emotion, how are the characters expressed. So that's my advice. Basically, just take in a lot of content and find out rules, find out what doesn't work for you specifically, and just write.
Awesome. Now, you just released your first book, so what's next?
If I ever finish the sequel, then I will publish the sequel. If I ever finish it, I probably will.
I have faith you will. I have absolute wonderful faith that you will. You have this energy that just expands across the screen, so I have faith that you will. Where can people reach you if they want to get a hold of you for an interview or grab a copy of your book?
Okay, well, for my book, it's traditionally published, not self-published, so you can find it on Amazon, but also any other online store like Google Play, Barnes & Noble, stuff like that. It's cool. You can, yeah, I'm Googleable, guys. Who could say that? And like, if you want to contact me for an interview, I'm on Podmatch. If you're a podcaster, you can just search me and then message me that way. My email is sarahauthor000@gmail.com, so you can email me. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, I'm just find one of those outlets and talk to me. I'm always willing.
We've also put your links here in the comments, so anyone watching today or watching this episode on YouTube or Facebook can go and check out your website and grab a copy of your book. For anyone watching on the podcast, which will be up next week, it's www.sarahhumphreys.com. That's spelled SARAHHUMPHREYS.com.
Wait. What did I do? Wait. HUMPHERYS.
You know what? It's spelled like that right here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and my goofy eyeballs said it differently. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I thought they'd misspell my last name on the cover of my own book. So, yeah, I honestly thought that was going to happen.
That would have been so awkward. You'd have been like, "Really? This is my book and you can't." No, but you have a good publisher, so they got it right.
Yes, they did.
That's awesome. Well, Sarah, we come to the part in the show where we turn it over to you. Anything that we may not have had an opportunity to talk about before we close it out, I want to make sure that you get the chance to talk about that very thing that we may not have hit on. So I'm going to turn it over to you and give you your moment fully on the screen by yourself if you're comfortable with that. If not, I'll stay on the screen. You let me know if you're comfortable having the screen to yourself to promote anything you want to promote or talk about anything you need to talk about for the next 2 minutes. You want the screen to yourself?
I don't really know.
Okay. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure we hit on?
Let's see. I don't know, really. I've talked about my book. I got to talk about anime. That was cool. I don't really know.
Do you have any shout-outs? No, you're fine. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give to anybody that has helped you along this journey, that has been there for you and supported you to get this book out?
Okay, well, my dad, he went through the program with me, and he was there when I pitched to the agents, and he's been really nice helping me with all this stuff and with podcasts. I really love him. He's an amazing person. And I also really, really like the writing program that I went through. It's called the Calliope Inner Circle. It's ran by Angie Fenimore, and you can join it. You can Google it and join it if you pay. It's still running, so you can do that. And there was this friend group that I had that I still have. Some of them have moved, but we we're the two artists. They're also authors, and they're also really nerdy. And so every single day on the bus, we got to talk about book ideas that we had, and plot lines that would work, and stuff that we really like, and a lot of stuff about Marvel. A lot of Avenger stuff. I love Marvel. I love superhero. I love the superhero formula that they use in every single movie. And we talked about that, and they actually helped me critique the plot of this novel that is being published. So thank you to Jane and Kayla and Anna for helping me with that. That was nice.
Yeah, it's great to have that group, your tribe.
Yeah, get yourself a writer's group. It would make things totally easier. For you can just like pass around your manuscripts, and all of you have the same mindset, and you can just give each other feedback. That's really nice. Find people who will support you and will help you, and like-minded people. So yeah, if you have, how about this? If you have a writing partner, it's kind of like, oh, I can't remember, C.S. Lewis and who's the Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings guy and Narnia guy. They were friends. I can't believe this.
I don't know the name. I can't tell you a name to save my life.
Fine. So. Lord of the Rings guy and Narnia guy. They were authors, and they were friends, actually. They were their own little group, and they gave each other feedback, and they helped each other finish their novels. Like they met, and they were like, have you written your chapter? Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? So that's another great way to help yourself finish your books. You just need to get someone else to motivate you. Basically, you can motivate each other, and you won't fall behind when you do that. So that's more advice.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's fantastic. Well, Sarah, I've really thoroughly enjoyed having you on today, and you have given us nuggets of advice. You have been so much fun and this bright light to talk to today, and I really appreciate it. So unfortunately, I have to say goodbye. I could sit here and talk to you all day. I really could, but I know that you want to watch anime probably. And
I did that last night already.
Okay, well now you should
probably do something productive.
Yeah, you should probably get some work done. Well, guys, don't forget to come back each week and watch us either live or the podcast right here on Facebook. You can ask Siri or Alexa to play the latest episode. Head to our website and catch the latest issue of the magazine. We have a new one coming out on April 4th. We want to continue making authors' dreams come true by providing them a platform to shine. We'll see you guys next time. And if you appreciate conversations like we do and want to become a better speaker, visit our friends Brendan and Vamsi at mastertalk.ca, where they teach you how to use the power of your voice. Don't forget, stay awake with a nice cup of coffee from a Third Day Coffee Seguin, the best cup of coffee on this side of heaven. That's thirddaycoffeeseguin.com. Until next time, my friends, I'm CJ. There's Sarah. Go read her book. Bye, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye, Sarah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Author's Porch is a certified veteran-hosted podcast. Show your support. Tune in, share, and subscribe.